Good morning, general environmental science students. Mr. Adair here, just going to go over some of the things you need to do this week. So, if you open up your Schoology page, here I'll move my face a little bit. Environmental science, week 3. You have two main assignments today, or this week. Learning a little bit more about the scientific method, and you'll just go through the guided notes, and the PDF attached will have the information for those, and then make sure you watch the video on Mythbusters. If you have problems logging into the video, make sure you know how, or make sure you log into the Cleaver app on your iPad, and that should help. But if you have any other issues, just let me know. And then I'm going to go through assignment 2 a little bit. We're going to learn about ecology and ecosystems, and your task is to go through this PowerPoint slide and complete the notes on it, but I would like to go through it with you a little bit right now as well. I'm just going to open up both of these. So here's your guided notes that go through some of the main topics from this first unit, really. And so what I would do is I'd have side-by-side screens and open up the PowerPoint, and then also have your guided notes open as well so you can complete this. Whoops, I lost it. All right, 1 second. So you're going to learn a little bit about ecology and ecosystems in this unit. What is ecology? Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, this is the same presentation that you had. There we go. All right, so let's go through this PowerPoint together. If you want to have your notes open right now as I go through this, you can probably answer a lot of the questions just following along with this video. So the very last week we learned a little bit about tragedy of the commons and some issues related to that, but now we're really going to start to get into some of the content for this class, learning about ecology and ecosystems. So what is ecology? You maybe heard this word before. It's really the study of the living and the non-living factors in an ecosystem. So the living things we call biotic, and the non-living things we call abiotic. So you can, for that first part, you can just write the definition of ecology, but it's basically like this. Let's say you're in the woods and you see an ant hill. Ants are living their life in the woods, and they are living inside of a dead tree. The ants would be considered living, but they also interact with their environment, the non-living part of the tree. So it's the living and non-living things that interact in an environment. All right. Another important concept is we organize basically life on Earth into this sort of way. And it starts with the individual organism level. And if you notice on your guided notes, you'll see O, P, C, E, B. And those are the same letters if you go up this levels of organization. O is in organism, P is in population, C is in community, E is in ecosystem, B is in biosphere. For this portion of the guided notes, you don't have to do anything, but just follow along. So let's say we're talking about a mule deer, which is this organism right here. And so that's like the individual deer. Now, if they're with their fellow species in a population, we have many mule deer. That's considered a population. Now, community is not only the mule deer, but the other living things in that same area. So maybe there's humans, horses, buffalo, bison, grassland, things like that. And then an ecosystem is not only all the living things in that area, but the non-living things as well, the rocks, the water, the air. And then overall, the biosphere is Um, the parts of the earth where life is living, bio meaning life. So that's how we organize um, the natural world around us. All right. Before I get there, though, in your guided notes, I want you to take an example of a squirrel and see if you can go through the O, P, C, E, B and fill that in. So I'll give you a hint. The next one, if you're talking about an individual squirrel as one organism, then the population would be a population of squirrels. And then a community would be all of the other living things living in the same areas as squirrels. So I'll let you try to think about what those could be. All right. And then there are three main factors that allow life to live on Earth, that's really sustain life on Earth. And this gets a little complicated, but it's pretty interesting. Number one is going to be the one-way flow of high quality energy. We're going to talk a little bit about energy in this class, but this means that the sun's energy is flowing and hitting the earth, and from the sun's energy we get basically all of the energy on earth for the most part, not totally, but there's some chemosynthetic organisms. But the sun's energy will allow plants to live, animals eat the plants, animals eat other animals, so that flow of energy from the sun is what allows life to exist on Earth. The second main thing is the cycling of matter or nutrients in the biosphere. Remember, the biosphere is basically all places on Earth where life lives. So we constantly have matter recycling itself. Think about the water cycle. Water rains, it hits the earth, it either absorbs through the ground or it flows into a stream, then it evaporates and then it precipitates. Now, other atoms do that too, like phosphorus and carbon and sulfur and nitrogen. They're constantly recycling, and that allows life to sustain itself on Earth. And then the other main way, which this is a cool movie if you've never seen it, I think it is. A lot of my students didn't like it, but gravity allows life to sustain itself on Earth too, and you've learned a little bit about that. Whoops, I don't know, this slide got messed up. Let me see if I can go back. No, trying to exit out of here. I want to minimize this. Okay, gravity, which allows the planet to um, which allows the plant to hold onto its atmosphere and help to enable the movement and cycling of chemicals through the air, water, soil, and organism. Okay, so the force of gravity, which that gets into a whole nother topic of physics, and I'm not going to go there today. All right, and then make sure you know the difference between biotic and abiotic. This is just a really cool image. Look how camouflaged this owl is. Biotic are living, or they were once living, and abiotic is non-living organisms. And then, oh yeah, okay, sorry. Then we're going to talk also a little bit about these relationships. So you've probably seen the movie Finding Nemo. Um, there's a pretty cool example of what we're talking about: symbiotic relationships, it's two different animals that either help each other, hurt each other, or do nothing to each other. And Nemo and Nemo's dad had a symbiotic relationship with the sea anemone, because the sea anemone protected them and they provided, I think, some nutrients to the sea anemone as well. So a plus plus relationship, we call that mutualism. Plus plus means they both benefit. And you can look through those examples on your notes and let me know what you think. You can kind of guess for those. A plus zero is, we call that commensalism. One benefits, the other is totally neutral, not harmed. And then the last one, parasitism, plus minus. One organism benefits and the other is harmed. That would be like a mosquito that sucks the blood out of your arm. The mosquito benefits and you're slightly harmed because you lose blood. Okay, so those are some of the basics for this unit. And you can go through these and I want you to tell me what symbiotic relationship is it. Is it a plus plus, a plus minus, or a plus not affected, okay? And then if you really want to check your answers, I provided you with the right answers here, but I'll let you do that on your own. All right, so assignment 2, ooh, Try to do them without looking at the answers first. Assignment 2 this week, go through this information. We're going to have a quiz early next week, I believe, and keep learning some of the basics for environmental science. I'm not making this class extremely difficult because I know you all have 6 other classes and this is an elective. But really just keep up with your work and we won't have any issues there. But I will be making some phone calls home today if I haven't heard from you. All right, do your best and I'll talk to you later. Thank you.